Many NGOs today face a major challenge called donor fatigue. Donors receive hundreds of funding requests every year, and many organizations compete for limited funding opportunities. However, successful NGOs are learning how to transform donor fatigue into long-term donor loyalty. In this video, we explore how organizations can build strong relationships with donors and secure sustainable funding. Donor fatigue refers to a situation where donors become overwhelmed or disengaged due to constant fundraising requests from organizations. When donors repeatedly receive funding appeals without meaningful engagement, they may begin to lose interest in supporting the organization. This often leads to declining donor engagement, where donors stop responding to proposals, emails, or fundraising campaigns. In many cases, donors feel that organizations are only contacting them when they need funding, rather than building genuine partnerships. Another major cause of donor fatigue is the lack of communication about impact. When donors do not clearly see the results of their contributions, they may question whether their funding is making a real difference. Additionally, many organizations lack proper donor relationship management systems. Without regular communication, updates, and appreciation, donors may feel disconnected from the organization's mission. To overcome donor fatigue, NGOs must shift their approach from simply requesting funds to building long-term relationships based on trust, transparency, and demonstrated impact. Donor fatigue is increasing due to several global trends. First, there is growing competition among NGOs. Thousands of organizations are now competing for the same donors, which means donors receive far more funding requests than before. Second, global funding resources remain limited. While development and humanitarian needs are increasing, donor budgets are not growing at the same pace. Third, economic and humanitarian crises around the world place additional pressure on donor funding. Governments and foundations must respond to multiple emergencies at the same time. Finally, many organizations still use weak donor engagement strategies. When NGOs only contact donors for funding requests without building relationships, donors may become disengaged. Understanding these factors helps organizations design better fundraising strategies that reduce donor fatigue and strengthen donor loyalty. One of the most important shifts in modern fundraising is moving from transactional fundraising to relationship-based fundraising. Transactional fundraising focuses on short-term funding requests, where organizations approach donors only when they need financial support. However, successful NGOs build long-term partnerships with donors. Instead of seeing donors only as sources of funding, they engage them as strategic allies who share the organization's mission and vision. This approach encourages collaboration, trust, and long-term commitment. Donors become partners in solving social challenges rather than simply funding individual projects. When NGOs focus on building relationships and demonstrating mutual impact, they are far more likely to attract loyal donors who support their work for many years. Transparency is one of the most important factors in building long-term donor relationships. Donors want to know how their funds are being used and what impact their contributions are creating. Organizations should therefore maintain strong financial accountability systems and provide regular updates on program performance. This includes sharing financial reports, monitoring data, and evaluation findings that clearly demonstrate results and impact. Transparency also involves communicating challenges openly. No project is perfect, and donors appreciate organizations that are honest about obstacles and lessons learned. When NGOs demonstrate responsible fund management and strong governance practices, they build credibility and trust. Over time, this trust becomes the foundation for long-term donor loyalty and sustainable funding partnerships. Communicating impact effectively is essential for building donor confidence and loyalty. Donors want to understand how their contributions are making a real difference in the lives of communities. This requires organizations to present clear evidence of their impact using data, monitoring results, and evaluation findings. However, data alone is not always enough. NGOs should also share real stories from beneficiaries that illustrate how programs are transforming lives. These stories help donors connect emotionally with the work of the organization. In addition, organizations should demonstrate measurable results such as the number of people reached, services delivered, or improvements achieved through their programs. Most importantly, NGOs should highlight long-term change. Donors are more likely to support organizations that show sustainable impact rather than short-term project outputs. When organizations combine data, stories, and measurable outcomes, they create powerful impact communication that strengthens donor trust and encourages continued support. Strengthening donor engagement is critical for building long-term donor loyalty. Many organizations make the mistake of contacting donors only when they need funding. However, successful NGOs maintain regular communication with donors even after funding has been secured. Providing regular updates on project progress helps donors understand how their contributions are making a difference. These updates can include newsletters, progress reports, and impact stories from beneficiaries. Inviting donors to events, project launches, or field visits also strengthens their connection with the organization's work. When donors see the impact of their funding firsthand, their commitment to the organization often increases. Finally, organizations should recognize and appreciate donor contributions. A simple thank you message, public acknowledgement, or appreciation event can go a long way in building strong relationships. Engaged donors are far more likely to become loyal supporters who continue funding programs in the long term. Diversifying funding sources is one of the most important strategies for reducing donor fatigue and ensuring financial sustainability. Many organizations depend heavily on a single donor or funding source. While this may provide short-term stability, it creates significant risks if that donor reduces or withdraws support. Successful NGOs develop diversified funding strategies that include institutional donors such as governments and international agencies, foundations and philanthropic organizations, corporate partnerships through corporate social responsibility programs, and contributions from individual donors. By building multiple funding streams, organizations reduce financial risk and increase their resilience during funding uncertainties. Diversification also allows NGOs to expand their programs and reach more communities without relying on a single source of funding. A strong and balanced funding portfolio is therefore essential for long-term organizational sustainability and impact. Sustainable fundraising does not happen by chance. It requires strong systems, clear strategies, and skilled teams. Organizations must develop structured fundraising strategies that define funding priorities, target donors, and long-term resource mobilization goals. Another critical component is strengthening proposal development capacity. Many organizations lose funding opportunities simply because their proposals are not competitive or well-developed. NGOs should also build donor databases that track donor priorities, funding cycles, and engagement history. These systems help organizations identify opportunities and manage donor relationships effectively. Finally, investing in staff training is essential. Fundraising teams should be equipped with skills in donor research, proposal writing, relationship management, and impact communication. When organizations invest in strong fundraising systems, they significantly increase their ability to attract long-term donors and sustain their programs. Turning donor fatigue into donor loyalty requires a strategic shift in how organizations approach fundraising. First, organizations must build trust by demonstrating accountability, strong governance, and responsible management of resources. Second, transparency is essential. Donors want to understand how funds are used and what results their contributions are producing. Third, successful NGOs invest in relationships rather than focusing only on funding transactions. Building genuine partnerships with donors strengthens long-term engagement. Finally, impact is the most powerful driver of donor loyalty. When organizations clearly demonstrate the positive change they create in communities, donors are far more likely to continue supporting their work. By focusing on trust, transparency, relationships, and impact, NGOs can transform donor fatigue into lasting donor partnerships. Thank you for watching this training, From Donor Fatigue to Donor Loyalty, the Future of NGO Fundraising. We hope these insights help you strengthen your fundraising strategies and build long-term partnerships with donors. Successful fundraising is not just about requesting funds. It is about building trust, demonstrating impact, and nurturing meaningful relationships with supporters who believe in your mission. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more practical NGO training content. At Optivida Consultancy and Research Services, we support organizations with fundraising strategy, proposal development, research, monitoring and evaluation, and institutional capacity strengthening. Visit our website to learn more about our services or contact us for consultancy and training. Thank you for being part of the journey towards sustainable impact and stronger development organizations.